Today is Monday, April the 1st, and I'm going to run through our typical set of stocks. I'm going to start with the S&P 500, and the only Ichimoku that's worth looking at is the weekly one. And there's some pretty neat stuff here. We have finally blown out of the cloud. We do have a flat cloud ahead of us. We need to keep an eye on that. And we have the Chiku span, which was blocked by this candle back on October the 1st, which is 26 weeks behind the current weekly candle. But we have an opportunity for the rest of the week to, of course, pop up into this area, which would bring us into above the candles next week. So if we were to finish at, and I'm going to lower my alert to that level here, if we were to finish at 28.95 this week, that would mean we finished the week with the candle above the weekly cloud and the Chiku span outside the candle wall here. And that is a very bullish sign. And then we would try to look for other levels of resistance. But right now, I'm looking at a target of 28.94 if you're bullish. Apple for 1 week. We are playing just tapping up against the cloud, but the Chiku span, we've been talking about this last week, the Chiku span got support on the 200, and today the Chiku span is moving right along the 200. So it's going to stay in this vertical plane, so it's either going to go above the 200 or down below the 200. But we're experiencing this type of resistance on the cloud, and the daily doesn't show us that much. The 5-minute chart either. The 15-minute doesn't. And the 1 hour tells us that we're about to break out of the cloud. So let's look tomorrow at the 1 hour, but let's start with the 15, because we've got this candle here, which will present resistance for the Chiku span. But Apple looks like it's in positive motion. Gold, this is the 15-minute. We just basically saw gold drop all day because, of course, the market was quite strong. And where did gold finish? With rejection on the 5-minute cloud. So look at it on a daily basis, the gold miners. We've fallen into the cloud after 2 weeks of getting, or 2 days of getting support on the cloud on a weekly basis. The gold miners are seeing the Chiku span getting resistance against the cloud here and resistance against the cloud here, which was 3 weeks ago. So the next area of resistance is going to be around 22.39. But gold miners for me is just a long hold to always have some gold present in my portfolio. So on the daily chart, we're still looking at this Gartley pattern. I'm just going to move it out a little bit further. But on the daily, we've got our Chiku span, which is nicely moving into an area of safety above the candles. And we're into this gap. We've been into the gap back before on February 26th. Then the following day, following, and then we fell out of not being able to fill the gap. It looks like tomorrow, if Caterpillar has a strong day today, and it's all China talks, right? We're going to see resistance at the top of this candle, or this gaps here. So we're just going to create an alert there, and our resistance is going to be at 141.03. The next one is Intel. Intel, our target is still 54.70, which is the previous high. If we look on a weekly basis, Intel is showing us that we have a possibility of moving to the previous high of 54.70 or hitting the all-time high of 57.03. If you're trading this on a short-term basis, the 5-minute was showing you that the cloud was support on the 5-minute cloud. WDC, again, always subject to good news about China. And 3 days ago, we had this bounce off of the cloud. And we have the Chiku span now ending up at the top of this candle. Let's see where it goes. Next resistance should be the Chiku span right here. So I'm going to put that as my next area of resistance, which is that round number of $50, in this case $50.77. So that's a look at today. It was pretty interesting.